Yeah, it doesn't do it.
Okay, all right. Oh man, that's bothering me now that my green screen's not working. Sorry. Okay, good enough. Okay. So this is a repeat of lesson number 2. We covered that one yesterday. For those of you that weren't here and anybody who didn't get to see it, I know a couple students were following along and through different means. I'm going to go through the same lesson again. Lesson number 2. What I'm going to get through today is lesson number 2, lesson number 3. Then I'm going to go through assignment 4 and 5. And I believe we could have all of this complete by Monday, but I may not actually assign it till the due date till Monday. Just depends how people are moving through. So lesson number 2, we start off with packages, projects, and objects. And classes, and this is a joke. But like I've always said, I'm the worst kind of funny. I'm only funny to myself. So there's some kind of thing. Maybe it's Wizard of Oz, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! So I did packages, projects, and objects and classes. Oh my! Because I'm so very funny. Okay, we'll start with projects, and you can see in here in the Eclipse breakdown, we have the package explorer. Okay. This is Eclipse. This is what it'll look like, hopefully, by the time you have it all set up and running the way you like it. These are the 3 windows I operate in, and these are the only 3 that I use. Definitely to start with. Once you get going, you're a little bit more familiar. There's other things you can view. I like to view my package explorer, my code window, and my console. Okay? You can have multiple classes open, and the classes will all open up here. Okay, and the class is where you type all of your code. The package is each of these big folders here. Those are all packages. Okay, sorry, those are all projects, Java projects. And the Java project can contain multiple packages, and multiple classes can be inside of each package. I have a specific way I'm going to show you that I want you to do it, just so that when you submit programs to me, I can view them. But for now, this is what the projects look like. To create a new project, you're going to go File, New, Java Project. Not Project. We have to go to Java Project. When you do that, it brings up your project name. You can call this one whatever you want. Is whatever one word? I'm not here to teach spelling. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. You can have capitals, you can have spaces, all of that stuff. That's really the only part you need to mess with. You want to use your default location, you want the JRE execution environment, and you want to create separate folders for source and class files. Okay, so all of that's set, you hit finish, and it creates that project for you. I don't know why this window's not closing. Okay, so now you can see that your project's been created. It sorts it alphabetically. Okay, these are all the things I have in here. Yours will be blank when you first start. Okay, these are all the things I have in here. When I open this up, all it has is the system library, which you're not going to spend any time in, and then it has a source folder that when you start creating classes or packages, they're going to go in there. Okay. All you want to do to move to the next step of creating a package is to have the project highlighted that you want to create the package within. Okay, so you can have it created here, and it's going to it'll put the package into the root folder of this project. But I'm going to highlight the source so that it goes right into there. I can click to here to create a project, or I can go to File. Same thing with packages. I can click this little button here and the pull down menu and say I want to create a new package. Now you can't use spaces. Okay? If you try to use a space, it automatically comes up with invalid package name. Okay? It must not start or end with a blank. Okay? You can't have any blanks in there at all. So whatever the package is called, it can't have spaces. All right, so I'm going to put mine in like that. I'm going to call it delete me. In this situation, you would name the package. If you're doing an assignment just for me, you're going to name the package the assignment name. That just helps me organize when you submit stuff. Create package info.java. You don't want to do that because we're going to put stuff in there. If it was empty, you would throw that in there, but it's not going to be empty. So I call it delete me. And you can see the package, it comes in and it's now empty. It's not filled in. Okay, this little box is just white. When you go into my other courses, you can see this package has something in there because the box is filled in yellow, okay, or orange or gold or whatever color that is. Okay, right now it's empty. So again, just like creating a package within a project, I'm going to create a class within this package. I highlight the package I want to create in. I go to New, Class. Now here the name is also the same. Okay, you can't put spaces in there. So, and you can call it, a lot of times you will call it the same thing as the package. And I can't spell. Delete. Okay, so I call it delete me. And to start with, we're always going to have this one checked. This is the only one you really need to worry about. We can leave it public, and we can leave this, all of these unchecked except for this one. Public static void main string arguments. This is your main method. A method is a program within a program, and this is where we put all of our executable, or we put all of our operations or anything that is going to output something. We have to put it inside our main. Okay? This is what I mean when I say main. This is our main method. In order to output anything, you have to have one of those in a class. If you don't, nothing will output. Okay, so I'm going to have those. As we move forward into this, we're going to start working with passing parameters back and forth between classes. In those situations, you'll have a class that doesn't need a main method because you're not outputting anything from it. You're just using it to pass parameters, okay? Or you're using it to call parameters to you, okay? So that there's nothing actually occurring. For now, we'll check it almost all the time. And now I have a class created. Okay, the class is called delete me. In the in the package delete me. In the project, you can call this whatever you want. Okay, very, very technical. Now, it's very difficult to change the name of these things after you've already started. Often you can't. If you change the name, you get an error message. So just be careful with your naming conventions right off the start, and make sure you're going through that properly. Okay, that is Eclipse. That's what it'll look like when all of you get started. I think I went way ahead of what I was working on. You can see the example I have here. Oh no, wrong one, Baron. It's going to try to open another copy of Eclipse. I'll stop it when it does. This is the one I used in the example, the Media Center project. I have my Media Center package in here, and I have my two classes, class movies and class TV shows. I have those ones in there. Okay, so you can see how I can have multiple classes from multiple packages and multiple projects open all at the same time. Okay, I don't need this one open anymore, so I'm going to close it. Okay, and you can see here's the class name. It gives you the package at the top, the class name here, and here's my main method. This is just a comment that auto-generates that you don't need. Okay, and I'm going to get more into the structure of this as we get into the next lesson. Okay, so I think packages, package library, good. We went through that. Class, I went through creating a class. Okay, talking about what a class is specifically, a class defines the type of data and what type of characteristics that your program is going to have. Okay, and all of the characteristics are, you can share those between classes, and you can create objects within those classes that take on the same characteristics and behaviors that the class has. Okay, and that's going to get confusing, but I don't want to talk about it. I want to show you, and we'll do that as we move forward. So when we start talking about objects, okay, we have this media center package. And then we have the type of data all objects in the class will have. So here's my class movie and my class TV show. In my class, and this is not a program, this is just kind of like a metaphor for what a program would look like. This is my class. This is my overall package that contains everything. These two things are similar, but they're not the same. Okay, a movie is different from a TV show, but they can have the same behavior or the same characteristics. So movies can have titles, TV shows can have titles, movies can have genres, TV shows can have genres, and so on with year and rating and all of that stuff. Okay, so now I have this kind of this framework set up in the class that is going to allow me to create multiple instances of that class. And that's what the object is. So I can have a couple example objects here. So my first object, it has a title, and it's Endgame. It has a genre, which is drama. It has a year, which was 2019. It has a rating, which is PG. Okay? And now this is where Barron's examples are always bad, because then I did a movie for my example of a TV show. And technically, this is just another movie. So it's another object that fits within the same category as movies. Okay? Because of the title of this, we know this is a movie. It would still fit into this class. But if we wanted to do Game of Thrones, it would be another object, but that object would fit into this class. Even though it's the same, it has the same characteristics as movie, it is an object that would come out of the TV show section. Okay? And we're going to go through 100 other examples of this as we go, but that's just the basis of getting started. Okay? Code compiling software. We use Eclipse. I've kind of gone through and shown it to you already. The first time you're opening Eclipse, it's going to ask you if you want where you want your files to be sourced from. I like to do it, make your work, and it's called a workspace. I like you to make your workspace your synced folder on your computer. That way, if you do have to work from home and you get an Eclipse installed at home, you can then point your Eclipse at home to your workspace as your synced folder, and then you've got the same projects and packages on both devices. Okay? You can do that if you want to, or you can just transfer them back and forth, however works best for you. The unfortunate thing is Eclipse wasn't installed on these computers, but we did it yesterday through my instructions that I have, and it was really easy. So multiple students got it submitted, no problem. Okay? So I went through this already, and I've shown you what it looks like. Okay? Package Explorer, your classes and code windows, and your console here. When you run your code, it's going to display down here, and you can shrink the size of either one depending on what you want. Okay, so if you want to look at your code closer, you can drag this down. If you want to look at the output more, you can drag that up. Okay, I already did all of this, so wonderful. Creating a class, I've already explained that. Okay, I've created an example here of myself creating some outputs. I'm going to leave it. We're not going to watch it right now because I'm going to let you go in and watch it on your own. There's an assignment related to this. So you have to watch this video because I think it's assignment 5. You have to recreate the same video. All right? Or sorry, the same program. So you're going to want to go in and watch this. I'm not going to watch it right now because you can do that on your own time. I'd like to get back to the next one. And I just have to hide my screen for a quick second. And we're back. Okay. That's way faster than yesterday. Lesson number 3, syntax and output. Okay, syntax is simply a way of saying kind of like rules or format. Every language has a syntax. We learned that in Python. In Python, if you didn't indent properly, then you weren't able to, you'd get an error message, okay? And it would say syntax error. The same kind of things apply to Java. And we'll go through all of those specifically. You know what? I'm actually going to pause it there because the bell's going to go for lunch. So I'm just going to pause this.